Very nice. And
Thank you.
The takeaway there is you do not want to lose her. That is clear. The songs, are they always you or are they characters?
It varies, you know. A lot of the songs on this new one are characters. There's a song written from the perspective of a soldier coming back from war called Plastic Soldiers. And there's a song written from the perspective of the Empire State Building, and that was fun to write. There's a song that was inspired by a local hero in Boston, Dennis Brennan, who's sort of the godfather of the Boston rock scene, and that was fun to write. And so, you know, but they all walk through the filter of my life, and you know, I color it with the things I care about and my tone of voice, and you know how I feel about the subject matter. So,
is there a overarching theme to the new record, do you think, or are they simply songs put together that were in your head over the period of recording?
Well, I think there's a historical bent to some of the songs. You know, there's a song about Johnny Cash and obviously the Empire State Building, and even with the Soldier song, I think that those songs sort of are trying to deconstruct what we are as a country and some important things within it and what we've been going through over the last, you know, even century. So, yeah. So you know, it's. I feel like those songs, again, you know, they're part of me. Those are the things I care about, and even though they're not always written from my perspective, I feel like my interests and my investment in them are really present.
It's been mentioned that some of what you've been writing about are about heroes or your heroes. You've also got a children's book and 2 albums, I think, right? 2 children's albums dealing with heroes that are maybe not the heroes that people sometimes think of as heroes. And I know they're certainly not the quarterback who scores a touchdown or the hitter who hits it over the wall. It's a different kind of heroism you're talking about.
Well, I think, you know, heroes are people that put themselves at some kind of risk. It's not always physical risk. Sometimes it's, you know, financial risks. Sometimes it's career risks. People like Johnny Cash obviously was just willing to say what was on his mind and suffered by it sometimes. And, you know, and with my children's music, you know, Rosa Parks and Jackie Robinson obviously was an extraordinary talent, but the bigger story there is that he broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball, and not only was you know, an amazing player, but was managed to be an amazing human being during that whole transitional period in our history, where he was the focal point. And so it's about, and people like T-Tot, there's a song about T-Tot on the Kids record, and he taught Hank Williams how to play the blues. And here's this black man from Alabama being basically followed by a young Hank Williams who's 12 or 13, who's basically just shadowing him all over the place to the point where he had to tell his mother to stop.
There are no pictures of him, right? Is that true?
No, there aren't. I've been to his grave site. I mean, you can photograph his gravestone. That's about as close as you can get. But so I had, you know, with the book, we had to make some assumptions about, you know, what his dress would be like, and you know, the kind of hat he'd wear, and that kind of what kind of guitar he'd play.
I know you're going to play the Johnny Cash song in a couple of minutes, but let me just ask you about that. Johnny was one of my heroes too, and actually the first concert I ever saw when I was 12 was Johnny Cash.
Wow.
The Statler Brothers and the Tennessee Three in Bangor, Maine.
Wow. You got that, and I got Ted Nugent and Presque Isle.
Ah, no.
I think you win.
Wow, dude, I do win. That's good.
He did come out he was in his Tarzan stage, and he did come out on a vine. I'm sure Johnny Cash didn't do that.
He did not. He was I was after the Prison albums, which I loved, and A Boy Named Sue, which I loved. Maybe this would be a good time. Tell me why.
Sure.
Tell me why you wrote the song. I mean, what did he mean to you? And
well, you know, there's the stance on the songs that he was willing. He was really a folk singer in a lot of ways. I mean, he was doing a lot of the same role playing that you know, Woody Guthrie was doing. He was writing about people that were working and people that were suffering, and not afraid to do that, and especially in conjunction with what today's country music sounds like, which is so commercialized, including the content. You know, if anything is outside of a safe box, it won't work its way onto the air. That doesn't mean there aren't great country songs. There's some great country songs that actually can fit into that box, but Johnny's never would. I don't think you can think of one Johnny Cash song that would fit the mold of what contemporary country music is. And
Well,
it's
as has
sad.
been said, people like George Jones and Johnny Cash wouldn't have a place on contemporary country music anymore.
They wouldn't, and that's one reason why I wrote it. And then and then there's the greater picture of his personal life and the history of his struggling with addictions, and he had this, he managed to be iconic by being very masculine and vulnerable in the same moment. Like it wasn't like he was showing weakness, just vulnerability. Not like Elvis, who managed to be masculine but showed weakness in a way that wasn't always attractive. But Johnny's was like, for some reason you knew that he was at war with himself in a public way, and he beat a lot of those demons back, which was pretty amazing. And so that's inspirational too, and that's one reason why I think something about just even seeing a photograph of him can shake you in a way.
Yeah, it's a very iconic image. Well, why don't you
Sure.
go for Johnny?
All right.
All right.